Today, we're jumping into a piece of tech that's frankly a legend in the water industry, the ABB MagMaster. This is the flow meter that basically set the standard for everyone else. So, what exactly makes it the gold standard? Well, let's get into it.
So here's our game plan. First, we'll look at how this thing even became the benchmark in the first place. Then we'll dig into the numbers that give it such incredible performance. After that, we'll see how it's built to survive the absolute toughest conditions, and you'll see its genius super simple maintenance system. And to wrap it all up, we'll cover what it actually takes to get one up and running.
But before we get into all that, let's just step back and think about the core problem here. You've got pipes buried underground, chambers that flood, so how on earth do you reliably measure something you can't even see? It's a huge question, and the answer affects everything from billing and revenue to keeping the public safe.
And that challenge is exactly the problem the MagMaster was built to solve. But you know, it didn't just meet the existing standards, it basically rewrote the rulebook and created a whole new benchmark for everyone else to try and catch up to.
So how did it get to be the go-to device? Well, it really boils down to two things: super smart design and just rock-solid quality control. Its unique sensor meant that its calibration stayed stable for the long haul. And on top of that, it was built under these really strict ISO 9001 standards, which just meant every single unit was tough as nails. And that, right there, is how you build an industry-wide reputation for trust.
Okay, but trust is really earned with performance, right? So let's get into the nitty-gritty and look at the two numbers that truly define what makes the MagMaster so incredibly reliable: its accuracy and its mind-blowing flow range.
Now this is where things get really impressive. An operable flow range of 1,500 to 1, that is just massive. It means the MagMaster can accurately measure pretty much anything you throw at it, from a raging torrent of water all the way down to the tiniest little trickle.
And it's not just about the range, it's about the crazy precision within that range. An accuracy of plus or minus 0.15% of the reading is unbelievably precise. For a water utility or an industrial plant, that kind of accuracy means less water lost, billing that's spot on, and way better control over your processes.
And that flexibility isn't just about flow rates. Look at the pipe sizes this thing can handle. It can be fitted on tiny little half-inch pipes or on these colossal water mains that are over 100 inches wide. That kind of adaptability means you can pretty much use it anywhere in a water system.
So when you put all these numbers together, what does it actually mean? It means you get reliable data, period. It doesn't matter if you're measuring peak demand during the day or those super low night flows, which, by the way, are often how you find leaks. That consistency, day in and day out, is what makes it so valuable.
Look, amazing performance in a lab is one thing, but it means absolutely nothing if the device can't handle the real world. So let's check out how the MagMaster is engineered not just to survive tough spots, but to actually make installation way, way cheaper.
And this rating right here, this tells you everything you need to know about its toughness. The sensor is rated to IP68, or NEM A6P. To put it simply, this thing is basically built like a submarine. You can dunk it in a flooded chamber, bury it directly in the ground, and it just keeps on ticking.
And that ability to just bury it is an absolute game changer when it comes to installation costs. Think about it. Instead of having to build these pricey, complicated underground chambers, you just dig a hole, pop the sensor on the pipe, and fill the hole back in. It's faster, it's simpler, and it saves a ton of money.
And the smart, cost-saving design doesn't stop there. First off, no moving parts. What does that mean? Nothing to wear out or break down, which translates to a long life with basically zero maintenance. It's also got a grounding electrode built right in, so you don't have to buy expensive grounding rings. And for those really tough environments, like a treatment plant, it's got all the safety approvals you'd need.
All right, speaking of maintenance, this is another area where the MagMaster just shines. The entire design philosophy is about making it cheaper to own over its entire lifespan. And the star of the show, without a doubt, is a system called CalMaster. The source material literally calls it the world's first in situ calibration verification system. And that phrase, in situ, is the key here. It means you can check its accuracy right where it's installed.
It sounds complex, but the process is just so simple. A technician comes out, connects this special CalMaster tool to the sensor, hits a button, and the device runs all these automated diagnostic tests. Then, poof, it spits out a certificate that proves the meter is still perfectly accurate, which is a huge deal for staying compliant with regulations.
And here's the payoff, the big so what.
You do all of this without ever digging up the meter. You don't have to shut off the water supply. I mean, just think about the incredible savings in time and money, not to mention avoiding all the headaches of disrupting service to your customers. It's a massive advantage.
Okay, so for our final section, let's talk about putting this thing into action. We'll cover what it takes to get it installed and look at the key places where it really shines.
Now, getting it installed is pretty straightforward for anyone who knows what they're doing. You just need a bit of straight pipe before and after the meter to make sure the water flow is nice and smooth for an accurate reading. You can stick it in horizontally or even vertically as long as the flow is going up. And for extra convenience, you can put the transmitter, the brains of the operation, up to 100 meters away from the actual sensor.
So where do you see these things in the wild? Well, pretty much across the entire water cycle. They're purpose-built for it all. From treating and distributing clean drinking water to managing all the wastewater and sewage, and even in specific industrial processes, the MagMaster is the trusted tool for the job.
So that leaves us with this final thought. What's the real cost of bad data? When you start to think about lost revenue from inaccurate billing, all the wasted water from undetected leaks, and the risks of not meeting regulations, well, the value of a device that's accurate, tough, and easy to own becomes incredibly clear. Thanks for joining us.